open the space-time continuum for me, babe.
Quit screwing around with that thing. You found Mike Dell's World. And welcome to Mike Dell's World number 160 for June 1st, 2010. And I'm supposed to say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit on the first of the month. This one's going to be a little bit shorter version of Mike Dell's World because I'm getting ready to fly to Texas. And I think I talked about that before. I knew it was coming, didn't know the exact date, but now I do. In fact, I just checked in with American Airlines and printed my boarding pass. And in about 3 hours, my wife's going to take her lunch break and drive me over to the airport, which is only about a mile from the house, so that's good. And I'll be flying into McAllen, Texas, down there in extreme South Texas, where my mother-in-law will pick me up at the airport about 10:20 tonight. And at dark 30 tomorrow morning on Wednesday, we're going to pile into the motorhome and head north. And hopefully by the time we stop, we'll be by Texarkana, Texas. So I'm going to spend the entire day and Wednesday in Texas and slip into Arkansas and Missouri and Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan and all that, and hopefully we'll be home on Friday. So that's the scoop there. So kind of gonna be an interesting adventure, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Not going to go into all the grisly details, but suffice it to say, this is kind of a family emergency, and I'm going to go take care of it. And but anyway, I don't want to be a bummer. Actually, it's probably going to be an okay trip. I will be doing periodic updates. I'm bringing a bunch of crap with me, so hopefully I'll either be doing video or audio or both. Could be on iPadio or on the Unplugged feed over at Mike Dell's World. Well, actually, MikeDell.com. By the way, if you're a first-time listener, this isn't my typical show. I do talk a lot, but generally I play a little bit of music and sometimes, funny stuff, sometimes serious stuff, the same old stuff. But anyway, life has been getting in the way of my podcasting endeavors. Geek of the North. I haven't been able to do one of those in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And the aviation history show is on hold until I can get some time to actually start researching that again. So, but that will be available over at flightradio.com eventually. And let's see, gosh, lots of things going on. Had some friends in town. In fact, they just left today for Points West. They're from Australia. And while they were here, I got them to record some bumpers for me, but I haven't had a chance to edit them or anything, so I won't be playing any of that today, unfortunately, but that was pretty cool. Got Richard and Joanne. And also my friend Keith from Ohio all did some TPN promos, did some Blueberry promos, and of course not promos, liners, I guess. I don't know what you call them, little IDs, and got them to do a couple for Mike Dell's World and Geek of the North. So, like I said, those will be fun to put together when I get back to Michigan and things get back to a more normal pace around here. So, but yeah, definitely just keep checking over at MikeDell.com. I'll have updates there. Like I said, either textual updates, video, audio, could be any one or all the above. Like I said, we'll be staying in hotels, hopefully with internet access. If not, the phone can actually do some updating too. I've got that iPadio thing. And if you'd like to track my progress across the U.S. from south to north, over at MikeDell.com, there's a Track Me button. Now, I will not be active with the APRS, the ham radio tracking. Just my equipment isn't that portable that I can take it on the airliner and make it work right in the motorhome on the way home. But I will have the Insta Mapper, I think it's called, tracking there on my phone. So look for Mike's Droid on that Track Me page, and that should update. I'll probably set it to update about every 15 minutes while we're on the road, and somewhat less when we're not moving, because it does suck the battery down. But it'll be plugged in, charging while we're in the car, or the van, motorhome, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, hey, I want to talk about my sponsor real quick, and then also a contest that we'll be giving away some prizes here, both on Mike Dell's World, Geek of the North, and several other podcasts, which I'll go through. But anyway, let's start out with the sponsor. It's GoToMeeting by Citrix. If you're having to have, meetings where you show a PowerPoint and all that, instead of traveling to the clients and then getting your laptop out and setting it up on their projector and then having to go, call their IT guy and, all that, or vice versa, have them coming to you and it's always just a hassle. It costs a lot of money. It's so much easier to just do a GoToMeeting. They can see what you've got on your desktop. You can see what they got on their desktop if you so choose. It can go either way. You got free or included voice over IP, so all you need is a headset and a microphone, and you don't have to tie up a phone line. You don't have to set up some fancy thing. You just set up a meeting, send a link, boom, you're up, and you can demonstrate software, show a PowerPoint, show them some web pages, whatever, it's just easy, and I love it, and I use it all the time, and you can use it if, for free for 30 days. That was a stumble. You can use it free for 30 days by going to www.gotomeeting.com/techpodcasts. That's gotomeeting.com/techpodcasts for a 30-day trial. And like I said, you won't be sorry. It's a great piece of software and great technology done by Citrix. Let's see here. Okay, the Summer of Podcast 2 contest went live today on June 1st. And the way this works, and it's kind of slick. Jeffrey Powers over there at Geekazine is kind of the brain behind this. And it's going to go all summer. Actually, it's going to go on until the Blog World Expo in October. But there's going to be monthly drawings for some of these prizes, and there's going to be some pretty good prizes. I don't know the grisly details on that yet, because Jeffrey hasn't announced those yet. But suffice it to say, they've got some pretty good sponsors in there that are sponsoring some good prizes, and plus all the podcasters that are participating are sponsoring prizes. So there's lots of things to win, and you have to listen to your favorite shows that are participating, because the code words will not be given out in any text form, or they're not supposed to be. And this code word for this show is madness. So the code word for this show is madness, and the way you put that code in is you go over to podcastmadness.com. There'll be a link on the show notes. Go to podcastmadness.com, and over on the right sidebar there is a form. It says enter codes here. You just fill that all out, and you put your code word in there, and hit submit, and you're all set. And that's good until the next code word comes out. I'm pretty sure that's going to be maybe it's either weekly or monthly. I know we're going to have monthly drawings, so I don't know. And I don't know if you can do it more than once. I'll have more details in the next Mike Dell's World podcast. But anyway, the code word is madness. And go over to podcastmadness.com. Let me tell you who's all... there's just tons of podcasts here. Bitnapping.tv, the Cleveland Sports Radio Show, the Cross Driven Radio, CS TechCast, Day in Tech History, Flash Past, of course, Geek of the North, Geek Tech Live, Geekazine, Indie Radio Chattanooga, The Jesus Geek, Kevin Oblast Radio, Meet the Talkers, Midwest Wasteland, the Mike Tech Show, and I mean it goes on and on and on. There's a whole list of them over there, and there's cool products there. There's lots of gift cards, technology books. There's a display link. That's pretty slick. T-shirt and mug from Indie Radio Chattanooga. Let's see, a Stitcher hoodie and some iPhone accessories from Meet the Talkers. Of course, I'm giving away iTunes gift cards. And there's some Amazon gift cards. There's an iPad docking stand. Wow, that's nice. And a blue snowflake mic. Oh, those snowflakes are awesome. In fact, probably some of my mobile updates during this Texas trip will be using a blue snowflake. Oh, let's see. There's a wireless mouse, a signed copy of Teach Yourself WordPress in 10 Minutes from Technorama. Oh, the Caffeination podcast. Oh, I want this one. Of course, I'm not eligible because I'm in the contest. But anyway, from the Caffeination podcast, he's got a coffee sampler, and that guy knows his coffee. So go check that out. From the iPad show, some hard candy iPad case and a $15 iTunes gift card. The Practical Amateur Radio podcast, giving away a gift card. Just lots and lots of cool stuff. There's a new egg gift card from the Totally Cool Tech podcast. And it's summer of podcasts too. So, all right, enough of that. Like I said, just remember the code word and listen to some of these other shows. And I don't know how that works. They may have a different code. They may not. I think you can enter multiple times for each of the podcasts you listen to, but I don't know. And Stitcher's sponsoring. Who else is? Wirecast is sponsoring. SDR News is sponsoring. So, along with, I believe, HP, and I don't know. But anyway. Let's see. Other things going on. Well, we this long holiday weekend, Friday and Saturday. Actually, it was Saturday. Kathy had to work all day, so I spent the day doing vehicular maintenance. So I got the Cadillac all fixed up, the brake system. I did calipers, pads, rotors, and bled the system, and that stops a whole lot nicer. Doesn't shake or shimmy. Doesn't try to go in the ditch. So that was well worth my time and effort and a few bucks. Kind of a bummer is that every time I go to work on something I haven't worked on in a while, I end up having to go buy more tools. So I had a little gadget that pushed the calipers back. And this was before I realized I needed to buy calipers, but anyway, that gizmo, I forgot that I broke it last time I tried to use it, so instead I went and bought a giant C-clamp, and you want to talk about big C-clamp, I mean, this thing's like 12 inches long, and so that'll be handy for a lot of other things, but ended up not using that after all because I ended up buying calipers. That's all right. It'll come in handy. And had to buy a set of jack stands because when we got the new wheels on the Cadillac, the new wheels and tires, they're a tad bit taller, and my floor jack is just not quite tall enough to do it without putting a block of wood on it. And I didn't want to work on the truck with a thing sitting on a block of wood, so I went and bought a set of jack stands so that once I got the thing jacked up, I set it down on the jack stands, and that was a whole lot safer. So if you're ever working on your vehicle where you got to jack it up, I highly recommend jack stands. Only the ones I bought have the little release thing to where, when you want to drop them down after you jack the truck back up. And anyway, they have it in such a spot where if you just grab the thing, sometimes it'll just release. Well, it released, and I got this gigundous blood blister right there between my first finger and my thumb on my left hand. So it's a little sore from that pinch. And then, of course, I mowed the lawn and got all that ready to go before I take off today. And let's see, Saturday. No, that was Saturday. Sunday, I went to breakfast with our friends from Australia out in Interlaken. And then afterwards, we went over to another friend's house and helped them move. They're moving to the other side of Lake Anne, my old stomping grounds. But they sold their house in the village and bought a house about 2 miles 2 miles west of the village of Lake Anne. And they got, nice property, about 15 acres, and the house is nice and all that. So we got them all moved. And by the time we were done at 6:30, we were just wiped out, tired. Didn't have any energy to do anything else except for sit in front of the tube and watch the NASCAR race until that was over, and that was fun. And then yesterday, on Monday, we completely vegged out for most of it. We did end up taking a trip to Myers there. To Myers is kind of like a Walmart if you're not from the Midwest, but went to Myers and got a few things. I had to buy a set of sandals because I blew mine up last summer, and since I was going to Texas and I'll be driving a lot, I like to drive in sandals because it's just cooler, on my feet. So anyway. Wow, talk about grisly details. Anyway, we did end up going to Red Lobster for dinner, which is not usually where we go, or not usually where I'd like to go, but it's good once in a while. So we did that and came home and just kind of vegged, and I sort of packed and got things organized. Of course, when geeks travel, we travel with lots of geek toys, so I had to get all those organized. I resisted the urge to bring more GPSs. I don't know, when I went down to Coldwater the other weekend, I had 4 GPSs in the car. I was kind of doing a test, though, to see how the Droid versus the TomTom versus the Garmin, and then, of course, the GPS for the APRS. But this time I've resisted the urge, and all I'm bringing is the Droid. That'll suffice. And there is a Magellan in the motorhome too. So actually, I'll have dual GPSs. Oh, what a geek! So anyway, that catches you up for what's been going on this week. Of course, I'm off work all week, which has been kind of nice. I'm sleeping normal hours and waking up normal hours. And that'll continue during the drive home, hopefully. And so, I guess with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one short. And actually, I do have a tune I'm going to tack on the end here. What would Mike Dell's world be without some goofy music? So this tune's called Texas. It's by the String Cheese Incident. And I will not be back after this. And as I said, please, if you want to follow my exploits across the U.S. from south to north, MikeDell.com is the place to find everything. I'll have probably some audio updates from either iPatio or from on the Unplugged feed. I may even have a couple of video updates. I don't know. But could happen. And those will just be posted to YouTube and then embedded there on the Mike Dell's World page there at MikeDell.com. And you can, of course, follow me at Twitter, because I will Twitter and tweet and Foursquare and all that crazy stuff. All the stuff geeks like to do. I'm doing it. So with that, here's Texas by the String Cheese Incident. And catch me later.
With a cabinet full of mushrooms and a cooler full of beer. It was springtime in the mountains when we headed out of town. The peaks were white, the sky was blue, and the sun was beating down. We were rolling down the highway, just having a little fun. Sure can drink a lot of beer underneath that Texas sun. So I pulled into a liquor store. That's where the trouble all began. 'Cause I ran into their awning and we had a run-in with the man. Get me out of this small-time Texas town, 'cause I don't wanna be stuck in jail when the sun goes down. But you can't bust me if you don't know what you found. But I tried to talk to the girl inside. I even offered her some cash, but she wouldn't listen. She was calling the cops because her gutter had been smashed. And the next thing I knew, when I walked outside, there were police all around, asking who was driving the vehicle, can I see your license, what you doing in our town. Get me out of this small-time Texas town, 'cause I don't wanna be stuck in jail when the sun goes down. But you can't bust me if you don't know what you found. Sitting on the steps of the liquor store, just trying not to look too scared. They were searching the RV, and I was thinking, sometimes life just isn't fair. Well, they opened up that cabinet, and they found our little little stash. But they didn't know what it was and let us go, minus $80 in cash. Get me out of this small-time Texas town, 'cause I don't wanna be stuck in jail when the sun goes down. You can't bust me if you don't know what you found. No. Get me out of this small-time Texas town. I'll be running as soon as my feet hit the ground. You can't bust me 'cause you don't know what you